What's up, guys? Welcome to 4-Minute Film School. I'm Naris from the A-Team. Today I'm here with Casey McBeth. Casey McBeth is a director of photography who has shot music videos, commercials, feature films. He's done it all. Today he's going to be walking us through 3 different types of office narratives and how we can light them. So, for our first setup, we are going to be doing the most famous office narrative of all time, The Office. Casey, how do we light that one?
The sample frame that we decided to go off of was Michael Scott in his office. So the first thing we did was we wanted to copy the effect of just that nice broad source that lights the talent. So what we did is we took a 120D with light dome and we stuck that within a few feet of camera just to give us the same kind of matching angle. That was the right amount of softness, so it very much recreated the look of The Office. And then we used a 120D with a strip box behind the subject, and that was able to give us kind of a nice soft backlight. The other thing we did is just to add some visual interest and make the scene work is we took one of our 300Ds and pulled it through our window. Again, we're shooting in a studio, and normally you would be using the natural sunlight to accomplish this. And because of the studio situation that we're in, we needed those natural ambient levels that you would find in an office. Since we don't have natural practicals, we brought in another 120D with a mini light dome, and that was used to just kind of fill in the shadows and raise the ambient level of the whole scene. And all those things together gave us a nice high-key sitcom look that really matched the tone that they go for in The Office.
Awesome. So for our next setup, we did a total 180 from The Office, and we went super gritty and low-key, and that was Fight Club. Casey, how do we do that one?
So the first thing we noticed looking at the reference frame for Fight Club is the narrator has a really strong light on him coming from the side. So by using the mini light dome, we were able to get just the right balance of hardness and softness, because obviously we didn't want to go too hard because that ends up looking very lit and very artificial. This gave us the balance that we felt really simulated a window with sunlight streaming in from outside. We did have to modify it by putting strips of gaff tape on it just to cut down the intensity on him, but still keep the levels that it was giving us in the rest of the scene.
I noticed you had this like shiny beadboard on set. What was all that about?
That was actually a really fun solution to a very interesting problem. When we were first taking a look at the scene, the foreground character had a really interesting sandwich of lighting effect that at first was a little hard to suss out how they had originally done it without affecting the rest of the scene. But my gaffer was able to come up with an idea by using one of the Aputure Mini 20s and splitting the beam of it. So half of it we diffused with gel to actually hit the talent face on, and then the rest of it passed behind her and we reflected that back to her with a shiny board. So by taking that approach, we were actually able to use one light as 2 lights, sandwiching her together and just giving her more depth and texture without drawing too much attention to her. And then we used our other Mini 20 as a skip bounce practical off the desk just to give a nice warm glow coming from that area.
How did you recreate the ambient lighting?
On that one, it's a very low-key scene. I mean, you're talking about some really deep shadows in that one. We actually knocked down most of our ambient lighting, even the 300Ds that we had outside, we took to about half power and ended up putting them through a 12 by 12 silk just to, again, cut that, make it a softer light, and just give us a lower level of fill.
Awesome. So what was the third setup?
So the third setup we tackled was a dramatic scene taking place in a conference room that we had access to. One of the first things that we decided on was we wanted to make it a little bit more drama, kind of seem like the characters are working late, stressed out. So what we did is we brought down a lot of our ambience. So with our two 300Ds, they're still going through the silk, but we decided to put full blue on those just to really emphasize the blue coming into the area, just to give us more of an idea that it might be evening. The next thing we did is we took one of our strip boxes and we hung that over the table just to give us a nice topper for the scene. And we also had another 120 with a Fresnel coming through the glass that we had just to give us a bit of an edge. It was a bit difficult just because we were in a very small space, but by being able to spot and flood, we were able to get a nice cone of light to just perfectly hit both of them just right. Obviously we have this really great textured wall, so what we decided to do was put 2 Mini 20s up on the wall facing down, and by bringing them close to the wall, not only do we get a nice fan from the light itself, kind of gradually falling off, but also kind of highlights the actual texture of the wall, which was a little enjoyable.
And I also noticed that you had a little bit of a light down there in the laptop. How did you do that?
We just knew to kind of augment the scene and just add another source of light just to make it more interesting. We wanted a laptop, but we didn't want to rely on whatever light output it was going to give us. So we just went to an Aputure M9. So with this, we knew it was something that we could control, we could dim it the way we wanted to, and we could really fine tune how we placed it.
Awesome. So there's your episode of 4-Minute Film School with Casey McBeth. I'm Naris from the A-Team.
Go ahead and leave a comment below with your favorite office scene, and the best comment's going to win an Aputure M9.
Follow Casey on social media. Follow Aputure on Facebook, Instagram, the works. Subscribe to us on YouTube.